Hello everyone and welcome to what's in this week's Oban Times with me, Kathy Griffiths.
Me, Owen Wild.
And me, Jodie Hagan.
Take a few moments to sit back and hear about just some of the stories we've been working on this week. There's been lots of them. You can read all about them and more in the paper or online at www.westcoasttoday.co.uk. We always love hearing your stories and seeing your photographs, so keep in touch by emailing editor@obantimes.co.uk, calling us on 01631 568 000 or getting in touch with us on our social platforms. Owen, what have you been looking at this week?
Thank you, Kathy. Mull Community Council have carried out a survey on the Mull campus on the eve of the big council decision of its location. But why? They give the details in this week's paper. And keep an eye out for the results of the survey this week on www.westcoasttoday.co.uk. Argyll and Bute Council are set to address their storm response plans following the battering of Storm Awin last month. And in a related story, a councillor has been telling us about the frustration with the road network, with damage only exacerbated by the storm. Lochallon Primary School has begun its hunt for its first ever Gaelic teacher, after deciding to establish a Gaelic medium unit. And a young girl from Dalmally Primary School won big at the 2025 edition of the Inverary Burns recital. Finally, we bring you big news this week on the plans for Oban's shuttered Phoenix Cinema. The building was recently purchased by a local businessman, but what will he be doing with it? Well, if you want to know, you'll just have to buy a copy of this week's Oban Times.
Thanks, Owen. If history is your thing, well, you might like to own a piece of it. Denali Museum and Castle is selling off seasoned slabs of a champion-sized 200-year-old walnut tree felled in its grounds a couple of years back. Apparently, this tree got a mention in a record of mourning for Patrick, the 24th clan chief, who died in battle during the Napoleonic? Someone help me out here.
Napoleonic? Oh my gosh, I can't see it either.
Napoleonic.
Thank you, Owen. During that war. And we've also been hearing that operations have been cancelled at Oban's Lorn and Islands Hospital after a pipe burst and shut surgical theatres there. Anyone affected by this, until repairs are carried out, will be informed. Over on Lismore, there's another search going on for a new head teacher to lead the primary school and early learning centre. And here's an exciting one for Quo fans. Legendary Status Quo frontman Francis Rossi lands in Oban in May for one night only at the Corran Halls. As well as playing hits and more during his one-man show, he's also going to be spilling the beans on what life really was like on the road, rocking all over the world. What are your stories this week, Jodie?
Well, Tobermory Primary School said an emotional goodbye to one of its much-loved teachers, Miss Campbell, last Friday, and pupils and teachers all wished her well as she heads off on an adventure on the other side of the world. You can read more about their thoughtful send-off and her plans for the future in this week's OT. And there's been some out-of-this-world news from Barra Airport, literally, as a rare picture from space of the unique runway has been captured by a NASA satellite. And we also have lots of great sports stories for you this week, including news of Oban Ravens' success at their last Wisps tournament and the North Argyll Cycle Club's first gravel race.
Thank you, Jodie. Well, that's it from us. So remember to pick up a copy of the OT from all the usual spots or subscribe online at www.westcoasttoday.co.uk. And we'll be back next week with another podcast for you. So until then, it's goodbye from me, Kathy Griffiths.
Bye from me, Owen Wild.
And goodbye from me, Jodie Hagan.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, hey.